Ooh, we're on, and she's going to flip the camera around so we can see. Hi, folks. It's been a while, hasn't it?
It sure has.
Yeah.
Hello, Wildflowers. Hello.
Hello, Miss Peggy. How are you doing today?
Okay.
All right. Introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm Peggy.
I'm Carol.
And I'm Ernie.
Ernie! What's going on?
He's our special guest. Where's Bert?
I wish.
Oh,
No, actually, I'm Judy.
So why are you Ernie? What's going on?
Well, we have Halloween coming up, and this is our Halloween episode, and I thought everyone was wearing a costume. Joke's on me.
I'm wearing black. I'm wearing black.
Well, I actually am at the end of COVID, so I was wearing a mask.
No, I actually bought that costume. I took my girls shopping, and they didn't get a costume, but I saw that in the store, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so buying this. And I did.
Yeah.
I love that mask. I love it that it's so big.
Oh,
so
I
cool.
love it. And the shirt, I actually had a shirt like this in kindergarten.
Oh gosh.
And I remember wanting to wear it all the time. My mother was just like, no. And I was like, oh yeah. I've loved Ernie from the beginning. I just love Ernie.
Yeah, I know.
he's-
Yeah, he's a lovable. He's a lovable character.
Yeah, it's his personality is very
Yeah.
sweet. But yeah, it's been a while since we've actually done this, because the last podcast was a little different. I interviewed Nelson DeMille and Alex DeMille for their book Bloodlines, and then today we were supposed to go to Tiny Raccoon bookstore in Sayville and interview Daniel, who owns the store, and talk about books and everything. But this one here, she just screwed up our plans for like a whole
I know.
week.
Yeah.
But no,
I know.
we're glad that you were
Screwed
able
up
to.
my plans too.
Yeah, I'm glad that
So.
you were able to make it today, and I
Well.
know that you're feeling still not quite yourself.
We're glad
Yeah,
that
but
you're
I'm
with
close
us.
to home, and
Right.
and if I want to bail out, I'll just go behind the camera.
But it's you're such a trooper for coming
Yeah.
here.
Yes, no, we
So,
thank you. Yeah,
I'm
she's the
trying
one with
to-
the camera. She's the one.
I know.
That's right.
We forced her.
I'm indispensable.
Yeah.
So,
No, but
but I was gonna say something and you made me forget it.
I made her forget.
Oh, you did. You did.
Well, it's not Ernie's
Whatever.
fault. Nobody
No,
blames
no,
Ernie for anything.
No, never.
Can you see part of the kitchen in the camera?
No, I can't. No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no, we can't.
All right.
Yeah.
But
There was a lot going on since the last time we met. Before Nelson DeMille, we were talking about
yeah,
the shutdown, and surprisingly, the shutdown didn't happen.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
That's right.
Now I know we're facing a deadline.
Oh,
Yeah.
Again, November 17th. And do I dare ask your predictions? What will we shut down?
I don't know how we could avoid it unless a miracle happens.
Yeah.
And like they give McHenry the powers that he needs.
Right, because
to
as
be
of
the
today,
speaker.
they had a third vote for Jordan.
Who has no
And-
business even being a
No,
speaker.
he really is.
I know, the guy tried to overthrow
Yeah,
the
he's
government
an
of the United
election
States.
denier. He wants to pass a national abortion ban.
Yeah.
This is a guy who doesn't have the majority of Americans' interests at heart.
Right,
Mhm.
exactly.
Including facts. He's still an
Right.
election denier. Will not
Right.
refute.
Well,
that
he
this-
should be able to be Speaker of the House because of that. If Donald Trump could be president because of it.
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a little discriminatory.
Yeah.
I
But
think,
imagine-
towards,
That's a good-
Jim
I
Jordan.
mean, I get it. And well, Donald Trump, whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, now we're talking about putting somebody who could be, like third in line for the
Yes.
presidency.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
an election
Yeah.
denier and really
Yeah.
He's a Nazi.
has stalled every single bill that has
Uh-huh.
come forward there. Has shot down pretty much everything.
Yeah, and he hasn't brought anything to the table.
Right, doesn't bring
No.
he's a waste of space
Yeah.
and just a bunch of hot air but let's put him third in line to the
Yeah,
presidency.
he
Come on.
and that whole group of
Republicans,
people, they
aren't
have
there
nothing to
anybody
offer.
else?
Right.
Isn't there
Mhm.
anybody else? Put
No.
somebody moderate there.
Isn't he a sexual predator too? Wasn't he
That-
accused when he was coach of
was he the, I know Matt Gaetz. I mean, there's
no,
so many now
he
to
was
choose
in
from.
Ohio. He
Yeah.
was a coach of some, I think it was a girls' team, and he was accused of fondling her, or
Yeah, I
it
remember
got
hearing
swept
that.
under the
Oh, yeah.
carpet.
Oh, yeah. You know, the Wildflowers, we don't hold back on how
No.
our political
Yeah.
feelings, but we do feel heartbroken about what's going
Oh,
on
my God.
in the Middle East.
Absolutely, and unless we get some aid over to, we're talking about Israel, the
And
Israel
they're at the
Hamas
border, and they can't get it
tensions.
through.
They can't get it in. It's heartbreaking, for the people that are trapped, in Gaza,
Yes,
and as
absolutely.
well, and but it was absolutely devastating as well for what triggered this,
Yeah.
I know.
which was
A terrorist attack.
it
is
was
what
a terrorist
was.
attack. And a planned one, and I really highly suspect that there's links to Russia.
Well, yeah.
That's just my thoughts on that. But
Well, they think Iran.
who's
Well,
a good
who is
ally?
also,
of,
yeah.
It's
But
yeah.
with that aside,
Yeah.
I don't want to trivialize what happened. The horror which is ongoing here. Then
I know.
Makes-
Because the horror now is expanded into Gaza, where
Yeah.
the Palestinians are being slaughtered, and
Yeah.
I understand Israel has a right to exist.
Yes.
They have a right to defend themselves,
absolutely.
but they're civilians.
Yeah.
Now, I
Palestine
mean,
has
that
a right to.
Palestinians aren't all
Yeah.
Hamas.
Right, exactly.
And
But it's, you know what it is? It just bothers me. It all goes back to religion. And that, to me, it's just, if your God is telling you to do this, you need to find a new God. Because this is just so heart-wrenching. I don't even like it even, maybe I said it to you, Peggy, I can't remember, sometimes I just want to put blinders on. I don't want to know it. But if they're
No.
living it, I have to be aware.
And that's kind of why I think we've all started this podcast too. And it goes, even though it's not my book this time, next time we talk, my book will kind of tie into this. But you can't put the blinders on. And this is how and we want to speak out. And if, like what you said, if your God is telling you to do something this
horrendous.
atrocious,
Yeah.
speak out. If something is being done, no matter what it is, whether it be religion, nationality,
Right.
culture, if something this atrocious is being done in the name of your religion, your country,
Right,
your
right.
culture, you should speak out, because the silence gets us to places like the Holocaust.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
it gets us
Yep.
to someone like Donald Trump in power
Yeah.
and a stalled Congress, because nobody will speak out
Right.
Yeah.
about it.
Right.
And so
Right.
if it's being done in the name of your country, I get it. Hamas was technically elected, whatever.
Right.
But if this is being done in the name of your country, speak out about
Right.
that.
Was
How this
Hamas
isn't okay.
elected?
It's
Were
you know,
they?
it-
I mean,
it's
who are
yeah.
the Palestinian Authority?
Right.
They seem to have no voice or power in any of this, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just, I just hope that Israel, that Netanyahu will just, ease up a little bit with killing the civilians, because he's doing that.
Right. Well,
I-
that was like
It's-
President Biden did say, we had a knee-jerk reaction at 9/11.
Yeah, look what we did in Iraq.
Yeah. And he's saying, he's just warning Israel, yes, you have a right.
to defend.
Yes.
Right.
But just be
Defend
careful.
yourself against the right people.
Exactly.
Because what's happening now is that he's just creating more terrorists.
Right.
Yeah.
Because these
Yeah.
people are
And
outraged.
which is what we did
And-
after 9/11.
Outraged. These people are outraged at what's happening to them, and it seems like the world doesn't care.
And when
But-
you're talking about killing children on both sides, then the emotions are going to run high. And I heard a statistics, I don't know if it's right, I just heard it on the news, that like half of this population in Gaza are children.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
I heard that too.
Right, so
Yeah.
it's like, if that's true, those children have nothing to do with
I know.
anything.
Well,
Yeah, so-
the people who got slaughtered
Yeah.
in Israel had nothing to do with
absolutely,
it either.
absolutely.
It's-
Absolutely, and I'm
Mhm.
not defending one, but I'm saying you to tread lightly,
Yeah.
or it's not
Uh-huh.
lightly, but it's effectively.
Yeah.
Right, all right,
Let's be strategic, because
Exactly.
there are a lot of children,
right.
Right.
here.
I think one of the problems that Israel has is that Hamas actually lives with the rest of the population.
Yes.
They deliberately do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Because they're
I-
cowards.
Well, it's very frustrating. Like I posted something today how I was so tired of, I didn't use Trump's name because I refused to use his name, but they knew who I was talking about. I was tired of him.
You have
Tired.
to say it. He's
Yeah.
not Voldemort. You got to say it. Like, say his
Please.
name.
No, I'm not going to say his name.
Ugh.
But they knew who I meant. And they said, okay, then, all right, so what are you gonna do about it? What are you doing about it? And I'm like, well, I have a limited amount of funds and I have a voice, but what else can I do? Like, what else can any of us do?
I know.
Like, it's very frustrating, and it's like with the Israel thing and Palestine, and like, we have this talk and we're talking to you and we're talking with ourselves, but I almost feel like, you know, we're just between a rock and a hard place. I don't know what we can do.
It seems like the whole world is blowing up around us. You
Yeah,
have Ukraine and
yeah,
Russia, and now
yeah.
what's going on in the Middle East, and it's going to expand. They think Yemen shot those rockets,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
it's very frightening. It really is.
Well, there is
very
one
frightening.
thing we can do.
We could have a glass of wine.
I'm sorry, I'm trying
Yeah.
to shift the
No, it is
the
because this is a
discussion, 'cause-
topic. We could spend a lot of time
Yeah.
talking
I know,
about it, but
I
it's just our thoughts. I'm not saying thoughts and prayers, but we are thinking
We
of the
think, yeah.
situation and keeping
I know.
it in mind. And
Right.
it's,
You know, all the people,
I
the
cannot-
innocent people who are being involved in this without
Yeah.
their consent,
Exactly.
no matter which side of the border they live on.
Okay.
Well, I'll bring-
Judy's turn with the wine.
Yes, I have a red blend here today, and these grapes are from Tuscany. And
Oh,
so
Tuscany.
We have always talked about going to Tuscany together,
Thank you.
Italy.
We will
I
eventually.
know. One of these days.
Yeah.
You
And
know what,
that's-
you take this one, I only want a little bit because
Okay.
to tell you the truth, I tried to have a glass of wine last night, less than that, stop.
Yes, ma'am.
And it tastes funny to me.
All right.
Oh,
All right. So
okay.
we'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
This is called Sella Antica Rosso. It's a 2020 blend. I bought it in full disclosure because there's a horse on there.
Yeah, I know,
And
it's a
that's-
rancher.
Yeah, it's a rancher, and
Oh.
I you know me, I'm the animal nut, so
Yeah.
that's what I
Oh,
get
I
drawn
like
to.
I love
that.
Isn't
yeah,
that
I know.
great?
Do
That
they
is-
have cowboys in
Yeah.
Italy?
I don't know. Well, man, who knows?
Oh, I thought.
But let me just read a little bit. Okay, it's a smooth, full-bodied red blend. Deep ruby-colored wine offers voluptuous scents of ripe blueberries and blackberries, cooked plums, spicy notes of black pepper. It continues with hints of vanilla, cocoa, and dried herbs. So it goes on a little bit more, but it has a nice description of all
I
the
like
different things that I
everything
like.
that's on that description.
I know,
Yeah, I know.
I hope you can. I hope it
hope
comes
so.
through for you.
You know what, I had some Chardonnay last night, and I took a sip and I said, did this wine turn?
Oh.
Your taste buds have.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what I'm
Ooh.
tasting.
Can you
I
smell
can
this?
smell it
Actually,
from here.
It smells beautiful. I like the smell. The bouquet.
Oh
It
wow.
does.
Mm. All right, let's do the legs.
Okay. Little legs, little legs.
Oh, it's got pretty good legs.
Yeah, it's got nice legs.
All
You
right.
can see them better in a nicer
Just-
wine glass, but you can still see them. Oh wait.
Oh.
Happy anniversary, Judy. It's Judy.
Gotta spit it back in.
Judy and her husband Niles. How many years?
18 years.
You had to think
Wow.
about
I did. Well, I'm not good at math. Everybody who knows me knows
Wow.
that.
Well, happy
Thank
anniversary.
you.
Happy
Yeah.
anniversary.
Thank you very much. We were talking about that last night because we've been together for 21 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but 18 years married. So
Yeah.
that's
Awesome.
a
Well,
long
to
time.
you and Niles.
That's a whole other adult you could grow.
I didn't take a sip. I would have spit that out.
Cheers to you, Niall. My better half.
I like this.
Oh, it's very good.
It does taste good.
You
It might,
can taste
it
it?
might really taste
No.
better. I can taste, it's just that everything has like a little bit of a different
Yeah.
taste.
Okay, well when you're sick,
But-
that happens.
Tastes better than the Chardonnay did last night.
Maybe it was.
I just dumped it down the sink.
Oh, you
Really?
should have had Jessica taste it for you to see if it was good.
She doesn't drink Chardonnay.
Oh, okay.
No, I like this.
Mm.
How many wildflowers would you get?
Well, first, how much would you pay for it?
Oh.
What do you think?
Okay.
$13.99.
Okay.
So you would pay 13. You're guessing how much it is? You're
Yeah,
guessing
I'm guessing. How much would I pay for it?
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know because I don't know if I really know what it tastes
Okay.
like.
Right.
So-
Okay. So we're guessing how much we think it sells
Right.
for.
Yeah, how much we
Okay.
sells for at the store? Because I bought it at a liquor store in
Okay. In your
not my typical actually. It was I was near a different one. It's called
Okay.
Union Liquor, so I got it
Okay.
there in West
Let me
Islip.
taste another taste.
It's got like a little bit of high tannins, I guess, the acidity.
It is. It
You know, I didn't know if it was that or
Even
I
being
have.
sick.
I know
Yeah.
it's hard for
No,
you.
you are.
It's
Yeah.
hard for
Yeah.
I would say $12.99.
Okay. This is actually $15.99.
Ooh, I was guessing. I
Yeah.
couldn't-
No. And let's see the alcohol content here.
Yeah, the back.
Yeah. Where this?
The,
I'm not reading that. Okay. Let me look it with my light. Okay. Okay. 14%.
oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
So it's got a very
Okay.
decent.
Yeah.
All right. I know it's not fair to ask you how many wildflowers.
No, don't ask
All right.
because I just took a sip and went, oh,
I'd give
you know,
this-
so
I'd
it's me.
4.5.
Okay. Right.
I like it.
It's not fair to the wine.
Okay, 4.5.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's very. I think
Yeah.
it's very good.
I'll
I
have
think
to
you'll like
taste
this
it
one.
another time.
So this
when
is
I'm
called
not
Sella
sick.
Antica Rosso. Just look for the horse. I mean the rancher.
And the
And-
steer.
And there's a steer. It's a beautiful
Oh, yes,
picture.
Peggy, that was okay.
That's how come I knew it was a rancher.
Rancher. Yeah, really
Oh, okay. All right.
nice. Well done.
Cool.
So there
Yeah.
we are.
Thank you, Judy.
Let there be
That's
wine.
very nice.
You know, this is podcast number 53, even though 52 was with Nelson, so I'm still
Right.
counting
That's okay.
number
Yeah.
53. So I
Okay.
forgot to mention that. But so it's my turn to do the book.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing a book that I've had for many years. I bought this years ago when I was trying to find a publisher, because I wanted to find something encouraging. And did you two know that the statistics are there's 98% of manuscripts that are sent to agents are rejected or ignored.
Wow.
98%, and that's
That's a
been
lot.
going on for years. And so that's
A
what
lot
I
of
was.
disappointed writers out there.
Well, yeah, absolutely. So I ended up getting this book, and I'm trying to remember where I got it. Probably at the time, Barnes and Noble, whatever. But it's called Rotten Rejections, and it is still available. I don't know if it's in your bookstore, but it's still available. And it's called A Literary Companion. So what I'm going to do, because these are books that have been published, but the rejections that they got before they were published.
Okay. That's
So I'm going to read a couple of descriptions, and you can't look, and I want to see if you can tell what book they're rejecting.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. Here we go.
All right, so the first one. We are very impressed with the depth and scope of your research and the quality of your prose. Nevertheless, the length presents a unique problem, for production costs are rising and the reading public are reluctant to buy expensive novels unless the author has an established reputation, such as the one enjoyed by James Michener. In any case, we don't think we could distribute enough copies to satisfy you or ourselves. This was in 1980. The book was eventually published. So with that in mind,
1980.
they didn't really give you much of a description
No.
of the book.
No.
And I know I've read the novel.
I would say, oh no. No, probably not, because you said just you read the novel.
And I'm being
No, I'm saying, no, you might have read the novel.
What book went? Because I'm thinking I know of a book that was rejected many times, but I don't know about the research
Well,
part.
what book?
Confederacy of Dunces.
Right.
I was going to say that too. That's the one I was thought, but we all read that.
We
Right.
did.
But what kind of research did he do for that?
Right, that's what I was thinking. It's not that one.
I initially thought it was going to be Moby Dick.
Right,
until
I thought
you
the
said,
same
oh,
thing.
until you
Until
said
you
the
said
year.
You're thinking so much alike.
And what was it, 1980?
1980 is when the book got published.
Oh, when it got published.
When it got
okay.
published, yeah.
Um,
And I do remember this was very popular. I'll
okay.
give it
All
to
right,
you.
it's not.
I'm going to give you the name because there's
Yeah, just
others.
give me a name.
The Clan of the Cave.
My
Oh.
mother's favorite book.
See, I hated
By-
those books.
Oh.
Really?
I tried to read them and I just couldn't get even through the first one.
Auel is her
Yeah.
last name,
Mhm.
right? Oh, my
Janelle.
mother loves them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She still won't give up that. She still has it on her library
isn't
shelf.
that
She
funny?
loves that book. This
Yeah.
whole series.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
All right, so I'm not going to give you the year then that
Wow.
the book was published because I feel like that might be a disadvantage. So
Yeah.
this
No,
next
it actually is an advantage because it
Yes.
helps you to narrow it down.
Exactly.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
So you want to know the
Yeah,
year?
yes,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So this is a very quick rejection. Regret the American public is not interested in anything on China.
Oh. It's gotta be Pearl S. Buck.
What's the
It's Shut Up.
she knows the book.
I know the book. I can't think of the name of it because I have COVID.
I
Sorry,
don't know.
that's
No,
my
I don't know.
excuse.
Opposite Bad World.
Oh, the Good
Earth.
The Good Earth.
Yeah.
Good Earth.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So,
I never read Good Earth.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
very, very
I read it in
famous.
high school, I think.
Okay, this one I got a kick out of. What we envisage as saleable is perhaps a series of small books devoted to particular portions of the meal. We also feel that such a series should meet a rigorous standard of simplicity and compactness, certainly less elaborate than your present volumes, which, although we are sure are foolproof, are undeniably demanding in the time and focus of the cook, who is so apt to be mother, nurse, chauffeur, and cleaner as well.
Joy of Cooking or the Julia Child.
Yeah.
Julia Child?
The mastering the art of
French cooking.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was thinking more
Yeah.
if this was fiction.
Right.
Like I was
And
thinking
that was
P.J.
rejected.
Wodehouse, maybe.
Yeah.
And see how it got sold so many copies?
Yeah, it's still around.
Okay, here's another one.
What was the publishing year of that?
Oh, I'm sorry, that was 1961.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, so this one, I'm not going to do all of these because we have the topic to move on to, but this
That's
one.
all right. I screwed up the topic a bit.
She's a little sick. Okay. All right, this one. The girl doesn't, it seems to me, have a special perception or feeling which would lift that book above the curiosity level. You want to know the year of the book? That
Yes.
It was,
I'm gonna say it's Alice in Wonderland.
no,
No.
1952 is the
Oh,
year that the book was
52.
published.
1952. The Girl Doesn't.
Wizard of Oz.
No,
No,
that
that
was
was
in
in
30.
that was-
30s.
yeah.
Okay.
Actually, it was before the 30s.
Yeah.
The book.
Yeah, it was 18.
All right. The Girl Doesn't. Say that again.
The girl doesn't, comma, it seems to me, so whoever is rejecting this, have a special perception or feeling which would lift that book above the curiosity level. I think you're going to be stunned by this one.
Gone with the Wind.
Mm-mm.
No, that was.
That was
in the-
older, too.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, could have said. Why am I thinking? 1952.
Mm-hmm. What do you folks think?
Not Nancy Drew.
No.
Audrey Morningstar.
No. Oh
No,
my
no.
God, you're reminding me of all these old books I read.
I have no idea.
The Diary of Anne Frank.
Oh my goodness.
Can you imagine
Wow.
being
That
the
was
one?
1952. That was published.
Wow.
Wow.
Can you imagine being
the one who rejected
Yeah.
that? I know.
Bye-bye, you should get out of your job.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, let me see if I can
Wow.
find- Yeah, that-
Read the description, the rejection again, so I could understand that better.
The girl doesn't, comma, it seems to me, have a special perception or feeling which would lift that book above the curiosity level. Whatever that means.
I know. What the hell does it mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
It means like people are just going to read it because they're curious?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
That reviewer, comma, it
Yeah.
seems to me, doesn't have
You
the
left
right
out the second
skill set to do that job.
Okay. All right, this one. I haven't really the foggiest idea about what the man is trying to say. Can you imagine? It is about a group of American Army officers stationed in Italy, sleeping, but not interestingly, with each other's wives and Italian prostitutes, and talking unintelligibly to one another. Apparently, the author intends it to be funny, possibly even satire, but it is really not funny on any intellectual level. He has two devices, both bad, which he works constantly. This, as you may imagine, constitutes a continual and unmitigated bore.
I have no idea.
Is it
It came in 1961 it was published.
not an Ian Fleming novel, is it?
No.
No. Something in Italy, and there's soldiers over there stationed over there,
No.
and there's not
Joseph
different-
Heller is the author.
Oh, Catch-22?
Catch-22.
Really? Oh, that's true. Yeah. God, I read that when I was like
In
18
high
years
school.
old. Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. Oh, this rejection I thought was so funny. One sentence. These stories have trees in them. that was
the rejection because it had trees in
it.
it.
Has yeah. And
These
it wasn't
stories have trees in them?
1976 the book came out.
Oh my goodness.
These stories have trees in them?
I read the book. It was a little dry, but
I don't know.
it actually was made into a movie.
Stories, the Lorax. I don't know.
A river runs through
A river
it.
runs to. Oh. Ow.
Yeah. So okay. All right.
Oh
So
my goodness.
let's see. What's this one?
You should have.
Okay.
Read.
I am highly critical of many aspects of internal and external Soviet policy, but I could not possibly publish a general attack of this kind. 1945 it came out.
It's a novel?
Mm-hmm.
Bashing Russia?
It doesn't even.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, wait. Bashing Russia.
I have nothing.
External Soviet policy. All right, and there you got another rejection. Here's another rejection on the same book.
Okay.
You'll probably know what it is after I read this one. It is impossible to sell animal stories in the
Oh,
US.
Animal Farm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. There you go.
So yeah, these
Is
are
the
all.
Dr. Seuss one in there? Because that was
yes.
a pretty good one about
Yeah.
rhyming and.
Yes, I don't know if that one. If I did read that one, I don't know if it's in this book though.
Yeah.
J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter got many rejections.
Yeah.
As well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, this one was it was a Dr. Seuss book, and to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street, too different from other juveniles on the market to warrant its selling.
Oh gosh.
You know, it's like you're wondering who's reading these manuscripts sometimes.
I think the publishing world needs a shake-up.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it has for a long time. All right, so here's some. Let's see. All right, this one. We do not think it would be at all suitable for the juvenile market in this country. And I don't think it was supposed to be for the juvenile market. It came out in 1851.
In 1851?
You had mentioned the title before, I think.
Moby
Alice
Dick.
in Wonderland?
Yeah.
Oh, Moby Dick. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Moby
Wow.
Dick. And then this
Moby
last.
Dick is not a.
Juvenile.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and that's what.
Maybe it was submitted as such.
It
Who
could
knows?
be. It could be. That's
Yeah.
true. Okay, and this last one, I recommend that it be buried under a stone for 1,000 years.
Oh my god.
And it came out in 1955.
Why do they have to be so cruel?
Exactly.
Like, this is
Yeah.
why.
No.
1955.
The
Yeah.
Tree Girls in Brooklyn.
Yeah, no.
I
Oh,
need-
that's funny. That would have been the treatment. No, this is Lolita.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and because I'm sure people were very offended by that. As you know, it was a
yeah,
rough
it's
story.
kind of a creepy story.
Yeah. Oh, this one I forgot. Okay. It does not seem to us that you have been wholly successful in working out an admittedly promising idea. And this came out in 1954, and you're never going to know by that rejection. Lord of the Flies.
Oh,
That
okay.
was rejected.
Now I'm
Yeah.
wondering if what was published ultimately was what was submitted and rejected, or if they took these arguments, like this one,
Right,
and-
these letters
rewrote
and
them,
rewrote.
That's
Yeah.
a good point.
Yeah.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
You know, rejections can be very, constructive as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've got
And
to be
they're very
honest.
subjective too.
Well, that's like the one with the rock buried under a rock for 1,000 years. That one
Yeah.
is not very constructive. But
No, it's, and a lot of times what happens is when they go into these agencies, you have young kids reading slush pile, like from the slush pile. And if it doesn't do it for them,
Yeah, if it isn't something that interests them. And,
They're like, no.
Yeah.
no, it's concerning then if that's. I'm hoping that's what I'm saying. It needs a shake up because how many are the younger kids actually reading books?
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, their attention spans are
Yeah.
going,
Right. Right.
sprayed. And I don't know if they're really reading the books themselves anymore. How many of them are doing that?
That's very true. Well, and I've got to be honest, like the rejections I got for all my novels was very complimentary, but it always ended up, but we just don't know how to market it, or we just don't know where to place this, and I'm like, well, ask me, I'll tell you
Right.
how to market it. I know how to do this, but
Yeah, that would be an ideal book for rural areas too.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
people who live that life, that
Right.
country life, you know,
Exactly.
in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
And the whole middle of the country is pretty much like that.
Mhm.
Right.
So,
Yeah, it's well, that was just that
Yeah.
one novel, but the
Yeah.
other novels just, yeah,
Yeah.
it's just crazy. But yeah, so
That was-
yeah,
that
so
was
it's
a good
called Rotten Rejections.
that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I did enjoy that. Nice one.
Yeah.
Well, thank you,
Nice.
thank you. Yeah, well, it's a book I tend to hang on to. Sometimes
We
you
all
just
have those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
need to remember.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, okay, they're rejecting me, but it could be them, not me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the topic, we're moving on to the topic.
The topic is mine.
It's your time.
Yes,
right?
it
Okay.
is.
So the topic is pretty much like Halloween around the world, or you know, around the places that I decided to look into. But I did this
What
a
can I
couple
ask?
of weeks
Oh,
ago,
that's what I wanted to ask you.
and then I got sick, so I haven't really been doing a good job at researching.
Oh.
But I have some stuff. But I wanted to open it up by asking. First of all, I need reading glasses now, at least temporarily,
Right.
until my eyes are adjusted.
Nothing
That
wrong
candy.
with that.
And but I wanted to start it off by asking, like, in your childhood, what did you do? Like Carol, for
What'd you
instance,
do?
like you lived in a whole different world than Judy and I were raised
Yes.
in. So what
Yeah.
was Halloween like in Cherubusco, New York, up by the Canadian border?
Where my grandparents lived down the road, and I think at least 3 or 4 years I had the same mask, and it was
What mask was it?
a little girl. That's the thing. I had. Oh, my face was not good enough. I knew it. And I do remember the elastic breaking.
Oh
yes,
my
those
God, that used to
elastic.
happen
They were
always on
awful.
those
Yeah.
masks.
Yeah.
And the only place we went to was down the road to my Carl, my younger brother, would dress up like a hobo, and I think Connie did too, my sister. And I don't know if Calvin was dressed up like a hobo too. It was just, I have 3 siblings. We'd go down, I'm sure my mother somehow communicated to my grandmother that we were coming down. She was, oh.
Well, you have to mention that your grandmother's house was pretty much the only other house.
Oh, it was.
You know.
Absolutely. It was down the road a piece. And we each got a big Hershey bar.
Oh, very
Yeah,
nice.
that's-
Wow.
yeah, that we got the
Wow,
big one,
full
yeah.
size
Full
bar.
size,
full
Back
size
then, that was
Well,
unheard of.
Well, where else
Yeah.
would I go? But I do remember one Halloween when after I got married and we had both Corey and Natasha and Jason, and we went upstate, and I didn't tell my parents we were going, and we wore costumes. And
Did you wear the little mask?
I don't remember what costume I had on. I think I had this big long head or whatever. And you know, we didn't talk, and my mother was just like, well, I don't know who these are. I don't know who these people are. I know Rob stayed in the car with Natasha because she was an infant, so I didn't bring her in. But my mother, and then I leaned, my grandmother was living with them at the time, and she bent down. I bent down to Grandma. I said, "Hi, Grandma," and I don't think she heard me because I'm like, "Hi, Grandma." But then, I mean, they were so thrilled when we took it off that it was such a shock that we came
yeah.
from Long Island that they had
Yeah.
no idea, and we got
Wow.
candy too. So.
Oh, wow.
But
Full
yeah.
size or miniature?
Probably then it was probably miniature.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
probably.
what a
Because they
waste
had
of
more.
I know, really.
They
They
had
took
like.
that big long trip.
I know. You could have had a
Shit.
full-size bar.
I know.
Yeah, actually, I was looking for a drink.
And how about you, Judy?
Probably very similar to you. You know,
Yeah.
we would go and get costumes. I remember my dad would take us to. There was a store called Marinick Mart, and it's
What was it called?
Marinick Mart. It's
Oh,
not.
okay.
It's. How would I describe it? I don't know what it is. It's kind of like in between a CVS and a supermarket. Like it was kind of just
Yeah,
you
like
had
a
to all
general
go-
store, yeah.
store,
Mhm.
and you go up and down the rows with the boxes. Your costume was in the boxes because I grew up in the 70s. You know,
Oh,
and-
right.
and so you would look through the plastic window.
Oh,
which
yes,
one do
uh-huh,
you want
yeah,
to see?
yeah.
And I remember picking out a bunch of it was Snow White and Tinkerbell
Yeah.
and I think it was Mickey Mouse as well. Of course, but I loved him. But then you had that little mask similar to these masks where you're just like looking through.
That is a much cooler mask.
Oh, it's so much
So you
cooler,
liked Mickey Mouse better than Minnie Mouse?
Oh, I hated Minnie Mouse.
Oh, really?
Because she had this really high
I still to this day can't stand her. I like Mickey Mouse. I was not a Minnie Mouse. Still am not.
I'm sorry, Minnie.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then we would go trick or treating, right?
Yeah.
And then until we had so much candy, and then I remember then had to give your candy to your parents to check because that's
back
when
then,
people were stuffing, like
razor
blades or
and,
needles or something in there,
Yeah.
and then you could eat, and then we'd get like throw up, and then and that was it. So when we were little, we would go across the street to my Aunt Gail's house, and I remember she would have like a little party. And like she would do like the bobbing for apples.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Or she'd hang the apples on a string, and then you had to hold your hands behind your back and try to get the apple.
Yeah.
That was fun. She had a lot of good things like that too.
Yeah.
When we were older, when my kids were older, we had a few years of parties that were just out of control. I mean, we had a cottage in our backyard that we made a haunted house, and my then husband, he made a graveyard in the backyard. And he bought dry ice, and neighbors would come and do the walkthrough, and we had a contest, so it made up for my childhood. You can imagine my shock though when I moved to
Oh my God! Yeah, and what a difference the droves
the
of
kids they had pillowcases.
I'm
like, what? I just found that, well, number one, greedy and ridiculous that you would need a pillowcase filled with candy.
Oh, stop, it's Halloween.
Oh, that's just disgusting.
No, it's not.
That's greedy. I think it's greedy.
Oh, move on. You're a party pooper.
No.
Yeah.
I'm just healthy.
She's just jealous.
Yeah.
She only got one Hershey.
Exactly, that's why. That's why. Because it's just so much fun.
Yeah.
And it's such a community thing to do. When I was a kid, I'm considerably older than you, and I also come from a very big family, so we didn't go to any stores to buy any costumes, that's for sure.
So you made your own.
But you did. You went upstairs and you started rooting through everybody's closets.
Right.
And like maybe my brothers had an old blazer, and then you rip it up and dust it with flour and make it look old, and get a stick with a thing, and then you were a hobo. Or you were a gypsy. You'd wear one of your older sister's skirts
Long
that was
skirts.
too big, and everybody had kerchiefs back then in the 50s and the 60s, and then you'd be a gypsy. So you always just kind of made it up, and then we just went trick-or-treating.
Now, you went around like a block, or did you just...
We went pretty much, you know what, it was a different time. Like, it was like, go out and go trick-or-treating. Who cares if somebody kidnaps you, you know?
I'm sure you gave me the Reese's.
And, we always had a bag or a pillowcase. Sorry. I think it was mostly like a bag, I guess.
Yeah, because you're going out for so long too. You don't have to come home.
I know.
It was
and then
fun.
we just went up and down the streets and said trick or treat.
What was your favorite candy that you looked for, that you were like?
Oh, I always liked Chunkies when I was a kid.
I like Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I like Tootsie Rolls too. So, but that's, and then we would come home. Yeah, we didn't go out at night.
Right.
We would come home and have dinner.
So wait, when you went, it was during daylight hours?
Yeah, it was after school. We'd run home, get on your costume, and you got right out to make the most of the daylight.
Absolutely.
So, because that was when daylight savings time ended before Halloween too. That was until not too long ago.
Yes, right.
That's true.
But I wanted to ask you, I know I asked you in a text a few weeks ago.
I did it.
And I wanted, Judy's husband is from Ireland, and as most of us know, Ireland started Halloween. It's an Irish holiday.
That's one of the first things he said. He goes, everybody thinks, but it's the Samhain, the Samhain.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, okay. This is interesting.
So, which was a Druid ritual, celebrated when souls could enter the world. So kids would wear costumes so the spirits wouldn't take them away.
Oh, okay.
So you would hide your kids.
Okay.
He also said that the Irish are the ones that started the tradition of carving the pumpkins, but they weren't pumpkins. They used turnips.
I remember.
And it wasn't until they came to Irish started being more in America where there were more pumpkins at that time of the year, easily found, and that's how the pumpkin carving.
And the
started.
pumpkins must be a lot easier to carve than a
Yeah.
turnip. I could barely
Right.
cut a turnip. I started buying them
I
frozen.
know, that's what I'm like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I did ask, and I said, what was his memories? Similar to, you know, what you, I guess, are saying with the costumes. First, he says they didn't really do it back then. They was trick-or-treating when he was growing up wasn't really too much of a thing. It is now, from what we understand,
Right.
but it wasn't growing up. And occasionally, because some people would wear costumes, but they were always homemade. You know, it wasn't
Right.
like you would
Right,
go
like
to the
you
store
did.
and buy.
Uh-huh.
Which I like.
But the big thing was bonfires. Now,
Oh.
bonfires were the huge thing, and you know, for weeks before Halloween, he says you would see every neighborhood had their own bonfire. And so they would start gathering wood, like, and you see people like in the neighborhood throw like wood on a certain pile. There was a designated
Right,
area.
uh-huh.
So over the weeks it would get bigger and bigger and
Oh,
bigger.
that's cool.
Yeah, and then on
That's
the night
wild.
of Hollywood, and then kids would start to steal the wood. Like that was kind of fun. But just before sunset on Halloween, it would get lit.
Oh, that's cool.
And then the kids were all there, and then they
Yeah.
had
I
a lot
love
of
that.
cosplaying or whatever, and then,
Yeah.
you know, it was just a good spot. The other thing which surprised me was fireworks. He goes, fireworks were big on Halloween, and so they were illegal to buy, but the annual trip that he remembers always making with his family when he was younger, and when he was older, like a teenager, he would go with his friends. You'd travel into Dublin to go buy illegal fireworks on Moore Street or Henry Street in Dublin. That's where you could buy the fireworks. And there was no school on Halloween, and also
that's cool.
the day after is All Souls Day, so there was no school.
That's right,
right,
because it's a
yeah.
Catholic country.
Yes. So they would do things like you wouldn't get a whole bunch of candy. You'd get candy apples, bobbing for apples. A lot of tomfoolery, he'd say, would happen. Like that
Right.
was instead of trick or treating would be that. But what he did have, and he remembered very fondly, and I'm working with my sister-in-law, Haya, to help me make this going, and as a surprise, don't say, they would eat barmbrack.
I'm waiting for you to say that
Do you
because
know-
I almost made it,
Oh
but
my
then I
gosh.
got sick.
What's it called?
It's a bread, a
Yeah,
cake
it's like-
with raisins.
I have a picture.
Oh.
It kind of looks like almost like a soda bread.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So
Mm.
oh, now it's just a black screen.
No, I saw it real
Okay.
quick. But,
There it is. You can't
It does look like. It does
And
look like so.
barmbrack, he says, it's like a fruit cake, but he says it's even more delicious than like a fruit cake.
How do you spell
Yeah.
the word so we can, if
It
anybody wants
is BARMBRACK as one word.
Right, and then it was
Barmbrack.
the fun part about that. Not only was it tasty, but it was filled with prizes.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm sorry. You go.
No, you go ahead. I asked you to ask. I was just curious as I was reading it. I said, I wonder if Niall had these experiences
Oh, that was
there.
one of his mace.
So,
yeah,
one of the prizes was kind of gross, though.
Which one?
The rag?
Oh yeah, the rag. Yeah. So now, not what you think of the rag. It was a piece of cloth.
Right.
It was
right.
a piece of cloth,
Yeah.
and everything was immediate. Like this cake was supposed to be telling your fortune.
Mhm.
So if everybody wanted to see what prize they got. So the one you wanted to get was a ring, because that
Right.
would be indicative that you would
you're-
marry.
You're married or have financial success.
Right. Well, yeah, I think this would be a coin too, which could be financial success too.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
don't
that's
choke.
good. Yeah.
Just don't choke.
Well, and then the cloth meant you were going to be poor.
Yeah, it says here in my research, whoever gets the ring will marry or find happiness.
Yes, happiness.
Whoever gets the rag will join the clergy or
Yes.
have an uncertain financial future, and whoever receives the coin will have a prosperous year.
Yes. There was
So
other
if
ones.
you made that, were you going to do that? Were you going to put the...
Well, yeah,
That's what
I
I'm
was
making.
going to get, okay, well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm going to try.
I wish I didn't get sick because I was going to surprise you guys and,
and
say,
that's
I'm
the
going to
only,
make it.
That's the only reason you wish you didn't.
No,
I know.
but I really wanted to do it, and then I said, I don't feel well.
No, I don't blame you.
This
Not at
I'm
all.
looking at Wikipedia. I didn't ask him, but this one says some other things as well. They say they put a pea. If you got the one with the pea, the person would not marry that year.
Oh.
If you had a piece with a stick in it,
So
it would
were
have
there
an unhappy
several?
marriage.
It sounds like there's several prizes in each
the cake.
loaf. So
Yeah, so
Yeah.
in each slice, you try to disperse them throughout. So every time you cut a slice,
It would have
it'd
a...
have a cake. And then the other one, you mentioned all of them, I think they said, but a bean. what are the B? Oh, would have a future without money. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
So like all of those things, but I think the ones Niall mentioned that he always remembered was the ring, the cloth, and which one did he say coin? I think he said coin meaning you were rich, a rag meaning you were poor, and a ring meaning you're married. And it was to judge your future. He goes, these items were wrapped in wax paper.
Oh, that
okay.
makes sense.
When they put in there, I guess so that you don't bite into
Right.
That's a good idea.
ring or something.
Did he mention anything? Because I read this too that I had never heard about either. All right, so it originated on an island. Blah, blah, blah. The Irish still have unique traditions. Apart from trick-or-treating, children also play a trick known as knock-a-dolly, which involves children knocking on their neighbors' doors and running away before they answer them.
Oh.
He didn't mention that specifically, but I wouldn't be surprised because he said tomfoolery, and I think...
Oh, okay, so that's probably
like,
any kind of like practical joke like that.
Right, because the girls asked specifically if he ever did anything like very mischievous, and he was a very mischievous kid from what I understand, but like mean-spirited, like, like maybe like shaving cream or egging a house.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, no, we didn't really do that. It was a lot of tomfoolery, which I meant to be like innocent kind of jokes.
Right,
but
yeah.
who knows?
Yeah.
And then it said, additionally, the Irish play a card game on Halloween whereby kids will choose a card and receive whatever prize is indicated on it. The Irish traditionally eat the fruitcake, called rumback, blah, blah, blah. But they didn't expand on that at all.
I could ask him, but he didn't.
So,
he didn't say
is it a certain card game? They didn't say the name of it, so I don't know.
When you mentioned tomfoolery, I'm thinking, I don't know if they still do it in grocery stores now, but they won't let kids buy eggs or shaving cream.
They did that for a while. Yeah,
I don't know
they
if they're
did
still
that.
doing that.
I don't know if they are. I don't think egging is a big thing anymore. The shaving cream.
I'm gonna egg your house.
Yeah.
I got my car once in Levittown shaving cream,
Oh.
and it always left like a mark on my car.
Oh, is that when you were working at Borders?
Yeah.
Because I remember you coming in
I had the
about
big
that.
ass Buick.
I was like, I think I remember that, but
I remember that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
You were so angry.
I was, because it was an old car, but still.
Yeah.
There was a couple of other ones that I found interesting. Most of the places in the world, like in Mexico, of course, they do Day of the Dead, and that has to do with All Saints Day and All Souls Day. Mm-hmm. And they have a couple of, really fun customs, and it's really kind of a joyous day.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
everybody builds an altar to maybe somebody in their family that they lost. And they decorate it with candy skulls or the person's favorite food, and they always leave out a drink because they say on that day, I think it's on All Souls Day, the people, if you have the altar, like they feel free to come and visit.
It's like Disney made a movie about that, Coco. Remember?
Yes, I know, and I always wanted to see Coco.
You would love it.
So, yeah,
it's one of our favorites. Yeah.
All right, so it is. It's on All Souls Day, but they do it, I think, 5 days leading up to it. They decorate, graves and that. So that sounds like a fun thing to participate in.
Yes.
I always found that kind of fascinating. And then in, you know what, I wish I can't go searching for it now, but I had this little card. It's probably in my Spanish homework bag. But I looked up because I do have a friend from Colombia, so I did look up Colombia.
Oh, nice.
And they started doing Halloween pretty much in 2000 because a lot of people around the world, there's expatriates all over the place, and they decorate for Halloween, and people get into it. Halloween's a cool holiday. France, no. France is a big snob about it, and they refuse to do anything
I'm
with
going
it.
to move to France.
But up until 2001, it was called Dia de los Niños.
Okay.
And
Day of the Children.
Yeah, Day of the Children, and everybody gets dressed up, and they go outside, and there's parties and stuff. And now there's some in Colombia. It's called the Moto Halloween Parade, and it's in Cali, which is a city in Colombia. Yeah. And all these people go on motorcycles and it's like a big spectacle, and
Oh my
everybody's
God.
got costumes on, and
Oh,
it's
wow.
all these parties in the street, and that seems pretty fun too. But the kids, I looked up this little rhyme that the kids say now when they are trick-or-treating, and I hope I remember it because I don't have it with me. But it's called Tiki Tiki Halloween. Yo quiero dulces para mí.
Yes.
Si no dulces para mí, lo... I forgot the last line, but it's like your nose will grow.
Oh.
Wow,
Gotcha.
that's too funny. Oh.
So in a lot of different places, they do something similar to Halloween.
But it's all on the same date, though, the day?
Not necessarily,
Oh,
but
okay.
in some, like Disneyland has a lot to do with Halloween in all these foreign countries now,
Oh, yeah.
because
Oh,
they have
right.
Disneylands in it. So when they
That's
do
true.
it in Hong Kong, it's a big spectacle
Oh,
because of
okay.
Disneyland. What I said about France is, as Halloween is not really a French holiday, there is some controversy pertaining to October 31st festivities. This holiday is a new trend for some of the French, and they celebrate with costume parties and dressing in scary outfits, but they're not really into it.
They don't
I've heard
go
in
door
other
to door.
places.
It's not part of their history.
Right.
No,
right.
no.
Culture.
And they
Okay.
do it. Japan does it. That's also connected with Disneyland.
Oh,
But
yeah.
you know
Because
what, as
there's
you're sharing all this and what you shared about Ireland, you know, when you're in school, in your grade school, and they have you color a pumpkin or whatever, it'd be really nice for them, I don't know, they didn't when I was in school, as far as I remember, teach you about the history of Halloween.
Where it started.
And where it started and the cultures, how
Yeah.
other people celebrate it. I mean, I think that that's important.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. You know, when you're studying, different cultures,
I find it
we
like,
don't really learn about different cultures.
no, we
anyway.
don't. And like, it's just, thank goodness for the Wildflowers
Absolutely.
podcast.
That's right.
One thing with Disney though, Peggy, but doesn't Disneyland have someplace in France? I think they have a.
Yeah, they do.
And so they
Yeah,
don't
they
do
do.
it there.
I don't know. It didn't
Oh,
mention it, so
okay.
I don't know. I know that they do it in Japan, and they do it in Hong Kong. And then I was reading about it. England, the trick or treat custom originated in England, known as Mischief Night.
Oh.
Whereas we in the U.S. carved pumpkins, English children would carve designs out of large beets, which were
Oh.
known as punkies.
Oh my goodness.
So, and Canada does pretty much what we do because they have the same Scottish and Irish immigrants.
Oh, right.
So,
Yeah.
they pretty much do the same things. And Belgium does Halloween really on All Saints' Day. Some villages celebrate Halloween while other villages focus on celebrating All Saints' Day. And Austria has a pumpkin festival. So everybody does something
Does
like a
something.
harvest type festival
right,
because,
right.
that's really what it's all about. But
That's-
the biggest ones are Halloween and Day of the Dead.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite Halloween movie that you guys like?
No.
No.
Well,
No.
I'm a big scary movie
Right.
person.
Uh-oh.
I like it. That's my phone.
Yeah.
I'll
Well,
get it.
we're going close to an hour
Oh,
already.
okay. Oh,
Yeah. So.
all right. So we'll
yeah.
table that one.
Yeah.
All right.
Alrighty. So
Well, that was very interesting, and
Yes.
that was fun. It was,
Yeah,
it was good
I'm
to
glad
see
you
you
made
both
it.
happy
again.
Halloween.
Happy Halloween, everybody!
And
And
we'll
we'll
here. We'll see you next time.
Yes, absolutely. It'll be number 54 for us.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Say goodbye.
Goodbye. She's gonna get it this time, I think, to turn it up.